Hey everybody, welcome to Habitat Now. I'm your host, Aaron Shea, reporting live from Suttons Bay, Michigan. We're up here for Ferdinand, the founder of Habitat's 75th birthday. We've all rented a home and we're all staying together. It's like Brady Bunch. It's a lot of fun. Everybody's got plans. They come back with the drama. It's earlier for a weekend, but it's a great time, and it's great to see Ferdinand having such fun times with all the grandkids. So thank you for taking time to joining me. It's beautiful outside, so I'm really grateful to continue doing these Habitat Nows and sharing the legacy of the artists in our Habitat family. So I'm going to just get going here, and we're going to share my screen and get the PowerPoint I have sitting here running and zippity doo as fast as I can. Well, I'll go through some small housekeeping because we're all eager to see Oliver's work. And if you haven't seen the recent show of Peter Botosh, it's up on habitat.com, also on the link I sent many people by email with a tiny URL there. You can read that back when I replay it on YouTube. Beautiful work. The Not Grandma's Glass exhibition starts, I think next week, is going to be Danny White. Many of you know his work. He creates very fun characters out of glass from a whole new community of artists. So grateful to have him, and I hope to see you then. The International is still up on display, believe it or not. We get people coming in every single day, calling, asking if there's a fee to come in, calling if they make an appointment. We're just like, come on in, see the show. We look forward to seeing you. So if you haven't seen it, or if you have, come back and visit us again. We're working on some amazing ideas for the Glass Conference coming here next year in June. All the ideas that you submit for proposal are due next month. So we're getting great ideas from people in the area, great ideas from artists. I was thinking about doing a glass and LED fashion show. Since Laura can't do it, I would do it in a totally different manner, with less organization, because I know she works really hard at the glass fashion show. So I'm going to propose it and see what happens. Enough of that. Okay, Oliver, we're here to see you today. So I would love for you to say hello, introduce yourself. I think I'm going to stop sharing my screen here so you can start sharing yours. And you guys can introduce yourselves. So feel free to say hi.
Hi, glass lovers. Hi, Aaron. I'm happy to see you all. Thank you for your interest about my glass works. Let me introduce my good friend Michal. He will help me with my English, translate my ideas.
Good. So then, also good evening, good afternoon for everybody, and let's then start the presentation. First of all, I would like to ask, can you now see the screen? Is okay? It is okay?
It is perfect. We did it. Yeah. We did great in training. Great job.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. So it looks like very good. Okay, so Oliver, now the floor is yours. Yes.
No. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Czy to ten poczet?
My name is Oliver Lesso.
I feel like our sound isn't working, guys. Go ahead and have you stop the video real quick.
Pardon me?
The sound isn't working on the video.
Okay. The sound doesn't work. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna stop your sharing real quick, and I'm gonna share.
So video was shown, but the sound was not.
Yeah, let me try to enable it real quick on my end and have you try it one more time. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing. Go ahead and try it again on your side and see if it works.
Okay, so let's see then.
Okay.
Go ahead and reshare your screen, please.
Okay. Let's see.
All right, try pressing the replay button down there.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Oliver Lesso.
It looks like the sound's not working, but you can talk over it if you want.
Yes. Yeah. So that's yeah. So let me introduce my creative work now.
Very good, thank you. We'll figure that out. There's probably a button on the lower side that lets you share the audio, or up on top. We'll figure it out. Go ahead and go on to the next slide.
Good. Mm-hmm. Mhm.
Presuňme. Dobre. Toto je vlastne tá vec, čo je akože úplne taká ten minimalistický.
Normálne plný hlasov.
OK. Tak tuto predstavujeme vlastne ako keby nejaký počet. Tento objekt vznikol vlastne teraz, ale vlastne ten jeho názov je počiatok. Takže...
So here we introduce a glass object which was created very recently, but also represent as a beginning of Oliver's creative work.
Teraz vlastne toto...
So first of all, Oliver would like to speak of something about it, how he basically came to his creative art and creative ideas.
No a že vlastne ja som od detstva vyrástal v tom prostredí ako tvorivom.
So that Oliver was really grown in a very creative atmosphere, creative family.
Môj otec vlastne vyštudoval architektúru.
His father has finished architecture.
Ale už počas vlastne školy na architektúre sa venoval animovanému filmu.
But already during his study at the university, he already was interested or actively participated in ceramics. It was also in cartoon movies and also in the caricature here, as you can see here.
Knižné ilustrácie.
Also the illustration of the paintings and drawings to the books.
No a toto má pustiť. Takže toto je vlastne taký ten...
So and here you will see this glass piece, which was basically from that particular point was looking completely transparent. But this is like, as you can see, this Oliver's creative work, how it basically goes through when you look from a different angles on it.
No a toto predstavuje akože počiatok, čiže že úplne jednoduchého tvaru.
So and this really, that's why represent as like the beginning or the early work, as this from one point represent like a very simple shape. And but then afterwards coming more and more complicated. So that really there you can fill in the whole world with the beautiful colorful light.
That is incredible. It's about the size of his head, a little bit bigger.
Absolutely, you are right.
Teraz dáme ďalšie. No a ja som vlastne ako keby študoval, čiže pokračoval som teda ako od detstva tou tvorivou činnosťou cez nejaké ľudové školy umenia.
So Oliver started also to be creative in a very early age, as like this ground school was also dedicated to the art.
No a až potom na strednej škole som študoval keramiku.
So then the secondary school he was studying the school with ceramics.
No a vlastne na vysokej škole výtvarných umení som sa teda dostal ku sklu.
And at the university then finally the glass as a element came to his life.
A mňa vlastne vždy priťahovalo vlastne také ten štvrtý rozmer, tá výnimočnosť tohoto materiálu.
So and then he was from the early beginning very fascinated by this material, basically not to have only like as he names it, like not a three-dimensional, but basically like a fourth dimension of this like material that basically you can really like a transparency, you can look through it and
No a vlastne ja som od detstva som choval ryby z jazer.
And also one of his hobby beyond this art creative work was to have aquariums, to basically was breeding the fishes.
A vždy ma fascinovalo vlastne more, morský svet a takéto vlastne jazera a tieto vlastne veci.
All the time he was very fascinated by the sea life, the fishes, and that also some substance which you can really basically have a look through.
Kde vlastne ten priestor, tá hmota je taká najpodobnejšia tej sklenenej hmote, tomu optickému
So
sklu.
where basically the glass is basically very similar also like to have like a water environment.
No a ja som začal pracovať na tej vysokej škole, sme robili také štruktúrálne objekty.
So on the university, his projects were or part of the study was also to do like he called it like as a structural objects, and this is basically this example what you can see on this picture.
No a vtedy vlastne bola nejaký trend, že sme kombinovali rôzne materiály, čiže...
So and there was a actual trend at the school that they were combining different materials.
Čiže napríklad ja som začal ako kombinovať sklo s keramikou.
So for example, Oliver started to experiment to combine the glass and ceramics.
Ale ja som si vlastne potom povedal, že ja som vždy túžil robiť ako čisté sklo.
But then afterwards he decided that this ceramics that he's really idea was to really have only this pure glass to work with.
No a vlastne tým som vymyslel ako keby nejakú hmotu štruktúrálnu na škole, kde vlastne som si vyskladával ako vnútorný priestor a robil som vnútornú architektúru týchto objektov.
And by this approach, his original developed approach was this example what you can see also now, these other pieces, especially this on the left. Where he basically created this one piece from these small pieces of glass.
Ešte sa vrátim vlastne k týmto objektom, že vlastne túto som robil hmoty, ktoré sú celkovo štruktúrálne a vytavované sú z jednotlivých segmentov, čiže toto je práve.
So this is basically done really from the like a segment of glass. This means like a small pieces of glass which are then melted, and after like as a specific procedure, these borders between these glasses getting melted together, but still having this structure.
Ale je to ako v celej hmote, vieš, je to v celej hmote.
But it's really like as in the whole object of the body.
Následne som začal pracovať ešte počas teda štúdií na vysokej škole.
Even during his university study, he started to experiment and also go forward.
Som začal pracovať s kinetizmom v rámci optického priestoru.
So he started to really to the space more kinetic.
A tuto je vlastne čistá ako keby optická hmota, v tomto prípade je to prizmatický tvár.
And here the object on the left from 1999 is like it's a pure optical glass, and
a vlastne štruktúra je vytavená a nalepená je na jednej strane objektu.
And only there is only a very thin slice of this what Oliver calls like terminus technicus as a structure. So it is only thin sheet of glass which is covered or glued to the left side of this object,
ktorá sa vlastne kineticky premieta na druhú stranu vlastne objektu, čiže sa tam zjavuje.
Because of the internal reflection of this prism is basically reflected and then reflected back to your eyes, and that's why you have a feeling that basically the object is full of these structures, but it's basically only one small sheet.
Is this what Oliver considers the fourth dimension?
Pardon me?
Is this what Oliver considers the fourth dimension, the refraction inside?
Well, so yes, that's exactly the idea about. Absolutely.
A ešte taká jedna...
Že to je vlastne ten štvrtý rozmer, o ktorom...
Áno. A ešte je tam vlastne taká jedna myšlienka, že vlastne
so
nadväzujem...
one more idea.
Že ja nadväzujem vlastne na slovenskú sklárskú školu.
That there is also Oliver during his study also was also following the Slovak glass school, which actually has a very long tradition in former Czechoslovakia, but then also later in Slovakia.
Kde vlastne sa pracovalo viac s nejakým tvarom, ktorý bol jednoduchý, minimalistický.
Where the beginning of this glass school in Slovakia was really to work with a very minimalistic shapes, very minimalistic objects. So this means like a simple ball, simple prisms, simple cubes.
Do ktorého som ja vlastne ako keby vniesol nejakú práve tú živú hmotu, čiže ten moment,
where he's basically implementing to these very simple geometrical structures, these like some kind of these 4 dimensions, this life and this kinetics into it.
ale aj vlastne, že tá štruktúra je vlastne ako keby stavovaná a je ako keby mäkká, čiže
also that the structure, as you can see, this is like creating this contrast between these strictly geometric shapes and the structure, where you can see also that this it's like the structure is like soft, that this means you see that it's not strictly geometrical shape, and it's a little bit like a little bit chaotic inside.
Čiže je to vlastne kontrast medzi tým dokonalým tvarom a vlastne tým jemným vnútorným priestorom. Čiže...
So when really the contrast between the like a big space and this very small tiny internal detail.
A vlastne ten vonkajší priestor nemá konkurovať ako keby tomu tej vnútornej architektúre.
So when the outer space shouldn't be like conquering the internal minimalistic space.
V následnom teda období som začal teda používať farbu.
As a next development, he started to move also to the colorful objects. Although, as you can see, also the technique is actually maybe doesn't look for first look like very similar, but
kde vlastne som zasa pracoval ako keby s takým tým napätím, tým svetelným impulzom.
So where Oliver started to work a little bit with like some like a tension between these dark and light areas.
Kde vlastne pri už tých tmavších hmotách sa tá štruktúra stala ako keby lineárnou a vlastne pri tom pretenšení vychádza ako keby z hmoty tá štruktúra.
So where there's the contrast between these light areas where basically the structure is still soft, and also where the dark, where it's just this only tiny details there. So this is a couple of examples from this period of Oliver's creative work, and as you can see, it's also like basically the basic idea of creating this object is very similar, but you can see the outcome can look very differently.
The lenses are quite beautiful. These are very stunning as well. They're surprisingly large in scale, but you can see the veils of what you were talking about before they fuse together. Very beautiful on the glass.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So again, you know, on the left side, this is again these structures, what Oliver was doing with the different colorful schemes. So here this one is basically also like a similar object, but here these soft structures are only horizontal. There is no these cubes of the glass as it made it before.
Čiže ja vlastne ako keby vždy v tých svojich veciach pracujem s tým geometrickým tvarom, ktorý je úplne jednoduchý, v kontraste vlastne s tou hmotou, ktorá je nejakým spôsobom voľná a
so all the time Oliver's try to in his object try to follow this idea about this strict very simple geometric object, and inside to make basically this object soft by this structural soft work.
That one piece you showed 2 slides ago, that was 2 pieces that were next to each other, right?
Yeah, maybe you can go back. Tieto si 2 ukázal predtým.
Tieto?
So still
that one.
Yeah.
2, right? Next to each other.
Yes, it is composition.
Yes. Yeah. So these are like 2 pieces, exactly.
Beautiful. Very nice. I love the subtlety of the detail of the design.
So, and basically this is again still the same one, but it's a little bit experimenting. Yes. Okay.
Toto je vlastne také nasledujúce obdobie, Bolo to okolo roku 2003.
So this is then some next stage is in Oliver's career. So it was roughly around 2003.
Kde som pracoval vlastne s takou videou, že vlastne sklo je tak úžasný materiál, že v jednom tvare sa dá vyjadriť 1000 nápadov a myšlienok.
So there where Oliver was still more and more fascinated by glass as a material for the art, that really in one glass object one can express like 1,000 ideas and creative work.
Že ja môžem pracovať stále napríklad s takýmto tvarom, čo je ako keby polgula.
So that he all the time can work in a one simple geometric shape, which this one is a half shape.
A za každým tá vec môže byť iná.
And basically changing like a very, very small detail on it, the final object basically looks completely differently. So it brings a completely different attitude, different feeling.
Čiže napríklad toto symbolizuje oči.
So for example, these four pieces, they represented like blue eyes.
Lake, blue eyes. Toto napríklad je...
So for example, they cannot see, but so this on this image, which is down right. So yeah.
No a vždy pracujem,
so what was here?
Napríklad mám aj k tomuto, že kompozíciu, že robím ako v dvoch a jedno je ako keby otvorené oko a druhé prížmúre.
He has really like basically some of them, he has really like two pieces which are very similar, but one represents like an open eye and the other like a closed eye. So now the image on the left down.
Ale že všade používam vlastne tú stavovanú štruktúru.
Yeah, so but all the time like Oliver is really still using the like same basic technique, where also on all four these pictures you can see that this blue structure is done basically from this similar technique of this soft texture. What he has there, so all the time, so but it's not real cubes, but it's basically like a linear structure.
A vlastne, keď sa chodí okolo toho objektu, tak toto všetko sú ako keby zmenšené tie štruktúry.
So and if one is really rotating the object or walking around,
úplne taký kinetický pohyb.
All these reflections, what you can see, is basically only from this tiny structure which is implemented inside.
Toto je vlastne, mám celú takú ideu tých modrých očí.
So this is like one next idea about Oliver's creative work.
Toto je
the eye. Yes.
Toto je ako modré oko.
So this is like a blue eye.
Potom sú modré slzy.
There are like blue tears.
Modré pramene.
Blue springs.
A potom jazera, modré oči.
And then there's blue eyes, these blue lakes.
Počkaj, kde vlastne používam vždy ako jednu modrú farebnosť v kombinácii s optickým sklom.
So where he uses strictly only one blue color tone in combination in this with completely the transparent optical glass.
It's quite magical.
Toto je vlastne modré oko, kde som zase začal používať ďalšiu technológiu, ktorá je ako vakové pokovanie.
This blue eye was actually also again a breakthrough in his creative work, where he started to do the metal polishing. So metal polishing means like this is then creating like a mirror surface, which can be flat, which can be under like a part of the sphere or whatever kind of shape, and can have also a different color. What kind of metal one is then depositing on the surface of the glass.
Tu je vlastne nejaký proces, akým spôsobom
so when here Oliver would like to also show you that basically how is such a object created. So first of all, it starts of course in Oliver's head, But then, of course, coming to more and more into reality. So first you see there are some, what you see on the left side, that some cartoons or some drawings, how it should look like.
No a tu je napríklad tento objekt, to je ako keby skúška, že sú to pokované vrstvy, cez ktoré sa následne,
after this,
ktoré následne prebrúsim a vznikajú tu takéto,
creating some kind of a preliminary model. And here you see that how basically the work is then done. So first, this is for the melting of the glass in a structure.
Ešte, že je to tak, že vždy každú tú hmotu si nejakým spôsobom tú základnú veľkú si namodelujem.
So that he's basically doing some before creating the final object. He basically makes
a vytavím si ten základný tvar.
And then he's really melting the glass of either the transparent one or later then also a colorful one.
Toto je napríklad detail, ktorý vkladám do tých objektov.
For example, here you can see the detail which is then inserted into this purely clean optical glass.
Toto je napríklad, tu je technológia jedna, kde sa ako preberá cez hmoty, kde sa frezuje, vlastne takto sa lepuje ten detail.
For example, here you can see that down there, this big lens, this is really like one big piece of glass. And
vlastne v tom detaili sú použité, že pokovenia zrkadiel.
Here, like on what Oliver now holds in the hand on that picture, so it's this structure what Oliver is then using, and then gluing it into it, and you can also compare how small this detail is regarding to the whole volume of this object.
A vlastne ja som z tej štruktúry, z tej tavenej vlastne prešiel nejakým vývojom do tých napríklad tých zrkadlových štruktúr, čiže má to takú kontinuitu, tá moja tvorba.
Here's the continuity of his creative works, that from this softening of this purely geometrical glass, he came begin again to this like a very geometric shapes regarding this vacuum deposition of the metals by this complex mirroring of the light.
Tuto je napríklad proces, kde vlastne na jednom objekte som robil ako keby 3 tauby, čiže som si
for example, here is an example where in one object he had to melt it 3 different objects.
Som si vytavil základný optický tvar, ktorý má...
So he first melted really this outer this big plate.
Vytavil som si vnútornú šošovku,
so then he was also then melting and creating this internal lens. Which in this picture is shown by this silver green. Silver gray, sorry. Yeah.
Následne som odfrézoval alebo odbrúsil hmotu.
So then he was basically cutting off or milling off this lens which has to be inserted later.
Vybrúsil som vlastne tie dve plochy a vyleštil.
So he was then polishing these two surfaces.
Pokovil a vlepil ich vlastne do toho.
So after that was this vacuum metal deposition to create this mirror surface, and then gluing this.
Prepilil som túto hmotu,
Then he was cutting this into halves, into 2 halves.
A vytavil som tam štruktúru.
So and then he created this.
Ktorú som vlepil vlastne do tej hmoty. Toto je vlastne, toto sklo je Alexandrite glass, čiže...
So this is an example like in blue, but then the next picture is this
to je vlastne ono mení tú farebnosť, čiže tuto je ako zlepený ten objekt v procese.
So basically glued all these 3 pieces together.
A tuto je už vlastne ten objekt hotový.
And here you have so you can see, maybe you can go back, and this is then basically the final outcome of this while taking some pictures.
Tuto je zasa, tu sú ako keby zrkadlové vrstvy, cez ktoré...
It is not like a separated plates, but this is basically really like a part of the spherical spherical surface and mirrors, which are then glued together and create this.
Toto je vlastne ako keby brúsenie zase toho objektu.
So here is a grinding of one conical object.
Tuto máme ako fotenie, jak sa
and
tie
then
veci
of course,
fotia.
Also a part of the art is also to get some nice images and videos. So here is like some overview how this is then done.
Tuto sú vlastne také, že robím aj také tie stretnutia so zberateľmi.
Oliver is also very open to if somebody is interested, as I told you at the beginning, as he started also with me and Oliver. So he also organizes the groups if somebody is interested to like see some objects in life. So you see there is several people and
to nevadí. Tuto je tu mám ako v zbierkach, kde som zastúpený.
Here Oliver has prepared just an examples where all around the world you can see his pieces or glass objects.
Toto je vlastne sklená architektúra, kde...
So, and this is then what is named like a glass architecture, where...
Kde som sa vlastne dostal, som pracoval vlastne s optickou hmotou, čiže som pracoval ako keby s dvoma hmotmi.
Where he basically combined like two objects together.
Kde vlastne tá štruktúrálna hmota sa premietala do tej optickej.
Where again this is you see this contrast where the lower part is this soft structure, and then again this upper lens or upper part of this object is just purely optical glass, so basically like a lens.
Tuto som vlastne vyhral súťaž s týmto objektom.
So here Oliver want to show also that he was a winner of the prize of the glass art. And here is another
to je
object
vlastne podobný objekt,
that's a very similar object from the point of the shape. But as you can see by the different positioning of these two parts together, and also by having the different colors, this feeling of this object can be completely different.
A vlastne tuto je tá vrchná hmota je čistá, bez štruktúry, a tá štruktúra sa vlastne takto premieta v tej...
Here you can see nicely that this upper part of the object is really completely pure optical glass, or actually this is this bit make with color scheme, but all these details what are created are basically coming from the reflections from the lower part of the object, from the structural part.
Oni tam nemajú asi...
Wonderful piece.
Yeah.
No a vlastne toto je také, že podľa toho, že keď jaké svetlo je, tak sa to aj mení. Ten objekt, to je Alexandric glass.
This Alexandric glass is basically very sensitive and very creative in depends on the light condition and also the how you focus the light on it.
Toto sú vlastne veci, tieto, ako sa to volajú, objekty, tak ja som začal robiť sériu objektov sklená architektúra. Vlastne.
So now Oliver will show you another example of this glass architecture. So again, what we were talking about, the purely geometric, very simple minimalistic shapes.
Kde som vlastne pracoval s tým vnútorným priestorom.
Where he was playing with the or try to maximize this internal space, by the putting a very small detail inside to basically create a by these multiple reflections, to fill in this internal space.
Vlastne znovu používam ako tú štruktúru, ale je to vlastne zrkadlová štruktúra.
So Oliver as a structure, now he again used this mirroring, but it's a multiple layers. Here you can see some roughly like 10 of them. and then creating this.
No a vlastne tuto vzniká ako keby tvar v tvare, čiže architektúra v
So
architektúre.
it's really having like architecture in the architecture is like this is a basically a repetition or in the infinity of the same geometrical shape.
Čiže vlastne v trojuholníku vzniká pyramída.
So like in a triangle, which is like a planar object, is really created a pyramid, which is then a 3D object, 3D structure.
Vlastne tá zrkadlová štruktúra je robená také, že sú lepené zrkadlá v 45 stupňovom uhle.
So the technique how he creates it's to glue these mirrored glasses together until under 45 degrees angle.
A vzadu vlastne je nalepený dichroický filter, ktorý...
So at the very end of this object, there is implemented a very special, it is called a dichroic mirror.
Ale vlastne tie zrkadlá robia, že ten dichroický filter nie je taký, ja by som to povedal, agresívny, alebo že nie je taký primárny.
Because of this multiple reflection of these multiple mirrors, this dichroic mirror, this reflection from it is not so prominent.
A vlastne to zrkadlo ho tak stlmuje a vznikajú tie farby, sú také pastelové.
And because the mirror is then like really diminishing a little bit the colors, and also the dichroic mirror has to by the opposite reflection it creates a completely different color, and that's why by this multiple reflection you can see these beautiful pastel colors.
Napríklad tuto je použitý vlastne ako keby jeden detail a ten detail, toto je čistý triangle, že je čistá hmota.
Both objects, what you see in reality, maybe Oliver you can go back. So in both examples, what Oliver is presenting here is that there's only one piece of this object, and this is basically located on the bottom of these objects for both of them, and all these reflections, what you see, are just like imaginary, and also otherwise, basically all this prism is just from the transparent optical glass. So that you can see here a little bit that under basically some angles, it is really you can see that this is a pure glass, and then the object itself or detail is only on the bottom.
No a tu je vlastne vsadená, ako keby do tej hmoty je odfrezovaná a vsadená je ako keby šošovkový tvar.
So and there is this part is basically like a smaller lens. That's why it looks like circular, but it's basically like a lens, and that's why also changes then the size.
Oni asi nemajú.
It's almost looking another dimension or different world in this.
No.
To je tiež video, Barborka?
So then let's move on then to the next object.
Tuto som vlastne znovu pracoval ako keby s tými lineárnymi štruktúrami, čiže...
So in this case also Oliver was working with the linear structures.
Ktoré sú v niekoľkých vrstvách, napríklad pri tomto fialovom.
But in this case they are really implemented in several layers. So basically what you see on the left part,
že sa prekrývajú.
these two on the left. So they are just overlapping and then basically making like sort of kind of interference.
A pri tomto sú,
But
pri tomto
this
sú,
prism on the right side of
tá
the
štruktúra je
picture.
lepená v 45 stupňov uhle.
So again, this is created. The whole prism is glued from the sheets of glass, which are then polished by the mirror.
Toto sú vlastne
So and again,
taká
that was
séria Mirror Tower.
so mirror. That's a series of mirror towers where Oliver used like a similar technique of this gluing together of this sheet of glass and created these prisms then.
No a tu som vlastne rôznym spôsobom delil tie hmoty.
So and here Oliver started to experiment even more with these sculptures. You see, this is more like some of the recent developments where he started also that to work with this prism, also to this surfaces even under some angles.
No a tuto je to dobre vidieť, že tu napríklad tam boli tie štruktúry ako keby rezané a lepené a tuto sú lepené a sú následne buď konkávne alebo konvexne frézované.
So here basically is like again you see the complex creation of this grinding, gluing, polishing, and this has to be done several times.
A vlastne tým akože tým odbrusovaním z toho skla, ako keby uberaním, vznikali rôzne kružnice, dali sa nakláňať vlastne tie hmoty, že bol ten kruh.
Cutting of the glass, partial cutting,
symetrický alebo asymetrický.
So that Oliver can create either like a symmetric object or also slightly asymmetric, and then these circles are then of this metal surface are created.
Toto je séria vlastne
so again this is
jazier.
This is the series of what we were mentioning before, the blue lakes.
Ale toto je vlastne Rainbow Lakes, kde pracujem ako keby zasa s tými zrkadlami.
So where he combines the mirroring and also with the dichroic mirrors and these 45 degrees parallel mirrors.
No a vlastne tuto sú ako keby dve hmoty, čiže je tá základná hmota a je druhá, tá šošovka pokovená a vlastne ten odraz, čo je dole, sa premieta aj v tej celej hmote, aj v tej pokovenej časti.
So basically that is again from the like two parts and this one big lens, which you see like the outer of the object, but also then later inside. This small lens, which is then vacuum deposit by this metal. So, and again, maybe you remember this was also this one, which was basically Oliver showed also during this creation. And this is then basically how the outcome looks like.
Toto je vlastne kúželový tvar.
So this is basically conical shape.
Tam vlastne bolo vidieť v tom procese, jak som ho brúsil, takže toto je už ako keby finish výsledok.
So, and here you have then this hopefully video or not, or is it? Okay, so this was as a picture. Yeah, good.
Toto sú vlastne jazera,
so this is again
tiež,
from the
kde používam iba strieborné pokovenia.
So here also is these blue lakes, but now this is an exception because as Oliver told before, he all the time implements this blue color, but now this is really exception, and this is like only a silver reflections.
Čiže vlastne bolo to v tej idei, že tých 1000 nápadov a myšlenk.
So and then that to finish also that also to declare you that what Oliver was proclaiming at the beginning, that with the glass you can have the 1000 ideas and 1000 of inspirations.
No a tuto je napríklad vlastne ten objekt, ktorý sa volá počiatok.
So and now we have again, at the end we are coming basically back to the beginning where this is the object what you have seen at the beginning.
Ktorý začína vlastne z nejakej čistej hmoty, kde nie je vidieť nič.
Where it starts from the angle of view where it's basically purely just only glass.
vlastne nejakým tým pohybom sa do toho dostane tá
by
kinetika,
the
s ktorou
dynamics and
pracujem.
kinetics of the objects, you
Vlastne
see that.
sa mení ten objekt a za každým je iný. Ako
So
keby.
that is changing and is basically having a completely different style what one see.
The coloring in that work is incredible.
Daj hlas,
Yeah.
hlas.
Yeah. Ale by si to mohla ešte zoslaniť.
Zase fakt ho není počuť. A teraz už ďalší. To je všetko, Barbie, však? Barbie. Dobre, tak
Okay,
môžeš
so this is the end of the presentation, and yeah, so Aaron, now maybe, yeah.
Well, thank you. That was incredible. A real glimpse into the world that we've just barely touched. So much more to see, and so beautiful in every single piece. And the time and the legacy that Oliver has created really shows in every single work. And it looks like you're on to some more creative, incredible things. This new, I will say, crystal ball work with this beautiful visuals in it is just absolutely stunning. And I've seen other artists work in the crystal ball form, but just the way that it magically moves through the piece is something that is unique to Oliver alone. So thank you again, Oliver, and thank you, Mikkel, for being here today. I'm honored and blessed to have you both. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. There is some work available by Oliver on our website. We have done commission work with Oliver too over the years. If you saw a picture of Ferd and Kathy visiting his studio in the Czech Republic on one of the tours. So it's really an honor to bring a little bit of a glimpse of your career and your life and your work into our gallery here at Habitat. And we're honored to have you in our Habitat family. So if anybody sees something they like and you want to continue the conversation, Oliver and I and Mikkel are here to have the dialogue with it, which is unbelievable. And people they ask me, where are you guys at right now? Where are you in the world? Are you in Slovakia? Where are you at?
Yes, so yeah, we are located in Slovakia, in the capital of Slovakia, in Bratislava. Mm-hmm.
Bratislava. Well, that's good to know. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well,
so, and of course, all the time you are cordially welcome to visit, as I mentioned also during the presentation. So don't hesitate, make a trip to Bratislava. Now we have the COVID situation is now much better. So definitely all the time, if you like to see this in reality, you can come and we'll book time for you.
That's amazing, Oliver. Well, thank you, everybody. I see some people in the background are very comfortable, but I'm really grateful for you guys for joining us here today. And I'll be sharing this on YouTube. Make sure to tell your friends and family, and come see us at Habitat. It is going to be an amazing time. Well, and Cheryl, yes, everybody's okay. We'll talk more soon. Be well. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you again, Oliver. I'll send you guys this link and be well.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Yeah.